Hello everyone, my name is Racheal and I am a social development professional who empowers persons living with special needs, and then we find a way to link them to where they can get jobs and create equal opportunities for them. So my organization's name is Initiative for National Growth. We are based in Nigeria and we have empowered over 1,700 persons living with special needs and their caregivers and special educators so that they can integrate with opportunities that you and I have. When I met a cerebral palsy girl who was at the age of 24 and was maltreated by her caregiver who did not understand the rudiments of how to take care of a special needs child, I told myself that I had to break the barrier, I have to create change. And how did I start? By bringing in special therapists, psychologists, occupational therapists, physiologists who could empower persons with special needs, emotional intelligence, and other areas like entrepreneur, career development, and other health approaches. And then we've significantly been able to help them grow in that area. And we believe that we can grow further if we're given the opportunity by the government and other stakeholders to empower the special needs persons in our community. It was an empathy. I started when I did my Young African Leaders Initiative program. It's called YALI, and then it was an online cohort, and I just chatted them on WhatsApp. I said, who's up for a community service? Meet me at this cafe. And luckily I met two amazing persons who are still with me up till now. This is November 2017. So since November 2017 we've had a trajectory of impact together. So that was the propelling, the beginning of all of this, building the team and then the competence. And then we have volunteers who are passionate about special needs community. And these volunteers are so amazing because they have various specialties in various things that has to do with health, career development, professional advice, policy making, and all these are the things that I needed to make this project work. Okay. I'm very resilient. When it comes to doing things, I'm very passionate about it, and I don't give up. And for me, it felt impossible because there was no financial sustainability in the beginning. I felt I could not do projects that could enable them become successful. It empowered a lot of planning, designing, and execution to make sure it was successful. But the point was, I looked at the goal, and for me, the goal was the main focus. What will it be in 2030 when we have reduced inequality? So I told myself I was going to change that barrier, and that's why that drive has been a propelling force for me to empower persons with special needs in my community. I would say my dad, he encouraged me. He saw a potential in me. He invested in that potential. I'm a kind of person, I'm very creative, and I love humanity. I have this selflessness of helping others who cannot even help themselves. So my father had that attribute, and he invested a lot in me before he died when I was 12. It didn't stop me. I went further. I studied arts and humanities. I studied foreign languages, most especially French. So I learned a lot about culture, background, about ethnic relationship, and that built me. That gave me an acumen to start empowering others. That gave me a transformative idea of what to do with persons who are vulnerable in my society. So I think that my dad did a great job. I look at not just persons with disability in terms of training them, because we have people with vision impairment in my team. But for me, I also look at the volunteers. They're so passionate about working with me, and I train them. Not just me, but my team. We train them collectively together. They're an amazing thing. We have a creative director, we have a financial secretary, we have the communication, we have the IT. So together we develop projects that empower people, and not just persons who are able, but disabled. We look at the 70% of able persons in all of our projects to ensure that they are well empowered and that they fit into job roles. So I remember in September this year, we had a leadership program for persons with vision impairments with the Federal Nigerian Society for the Blind in Lagos, Nigeria. And we were able to empower over 31 persons living with special needs and their special educators. At the end of the day, the aim is to ensure that they integrate with jobs because they are often denied. So that is the kind of thing that we do. We train, we empower, and then we link them to where they can get career development for themselves. First of all, they should start. When I started, I didn't believe that I would grow to this stage. I even thought it wasn't sustainable, but I did not look at the barrier. I looked at the vision. So I think for young adults, people who are growing up to this light, you have to have the passion, number one. You have to be empathetic. Build your leadership skills. It's something you build every single day. You learn with your failures, you rise up, you pick up, and then you move forward. And that's what makes you resilient. And for me, that was what kept me going forward. I didn't care about the policies that were not backing up people with special needs. But for me, what I wanted to see was that in 2030, that by then I have created a sustainable impact for persons living with special needs. And that's what I am doing right now. And I feel that young persons should do, going forward. That passion is something that could spark you to be empathetic, create your leadership values, and then you can now create a sustainable impact for others who need it. Ashoka is a trailblazing leadership program for young, innovative minds like me. Ashoka is trailblazing, the way to go. No matter how it feels like you're failing, be resilient, keep pushing. At the end of the day, you get what you want. And what matters is that even if you leave this world, you have a legacy that you're leaving behind. And that is what I want the young persons coming after me to emulate. Leaving a legacy that would impact millions of generations of people coming under you, so that you can have, that trailblazing.